Good night, everyone, and welcome back to the Nocturnal Corner with Bat. In today's video, we're doing another driver's seat update to where they just announced the future balance changes that usually mostly stay the same. I think for the first time ever in that last update, they actually changed it a little bit. I've never actually seen that from reading any of these things, but we'll see if they actually fix anything that's actually important or not with this update here. So let's see what announcements they're making for the future. And it looks like it's mainly going to be different parts. There's just going to be balancing. I don't think they're adding anything or announcing anything being added. No new mini pass or whatever the fuck. So starting off, we're going to be looking at these special parts. And looks like first up is going to be the jockey. The maximum bonus of the perk is gained in 8 seconds instead of 10 seconds. The perk bonus resets after 6 seconds instead of 4 seconds earlier. The jockey, I don't really think I've seen many people use it. I think it's kind of the same with the Howl cabin. It's kind of something that you see every now and then. It's nice to have that bonus of damage, but it kind of feels like it takes a little too long at times, especially since you have to get right in close and you gotta hit them, and if you're meleeing them or flamethrower or whatever, it doesn't really feel like it's getting in as much. You might as well have like a blight and something else. That damage usually doesn't really feel like it comes in too quick. I always thought like the Howl's Cabin's perk was a little lackluster compared to others, so maybe this will make it a little bit better, but overall it's just kind of maybe gotta play with it to see how it goes. Going down, the boom, I don't really see the boom at all. Like, I don't know if that's different for Xbox or PC, but the only ones I ever see is the Lancers, never the boom. Explosive radius reduced by 28%. I mean, maybe. I don't really do they even have a perk? Like, I think this is just a rare, isn't it? It doesn't even have a perk. I'm sure at lower power score it probably hurts, and you won't really need a Lancelot for that lower power score, but again, I've never really seen the boom, so I don't really have much of an opinion on it. Maybe somebody can let me know if they're on a different system, if the boom is that deadly or not. But that exploding soup can on a stick, I mean, maybe it hurts. I just know that the Lancelots will definitely fuck you up, especially, when their perk is fully activated. You get the fucking cockpit in there and just bam, you can take a Leviathan in half with that shit. Next up is going to be the Genesis. Added a 56% efficiency improvement to the list of possible upgrades, so that's nice. See, that one I kind of agree with. Having something that's similar to like the ammo boxes so you can get a little bit more. Because I think, what did this only gave you like one drone, didn't it? So now it's going to give you like maybe a second one or that, or like another one. Because if I'm remembering correctly, it's like, it was either just already 50% or like 25% or something of what you already have. So if you already start out with like 4, you're just getting 1. So you're basically putting on a bomb on your car for just 1 extra drone. It's kind of lame, to be honest, if you think about it. So hopefully this will give you like either a second or a third one, so you don't have to keep putting bombs on your vehicle. Even though, and I kind of also say that because drones aren't really that bad anymore. You'll have like grenaders here and there. It's mainly the ones that they shoot and they fly up in the air and start shooting down on you. But those don't even use these. They use regular ammo boxes. So you know what? Good for you, droners, if you're using that shit. If I ever decide I want to use drones, I'm happy that that's a thing. So that's the only I think that might actually be a positive for them. The Catalina. Mass limit reduced. Man, I don't like that. It's already a light cabin, and it's already feels like a glass cannon. And then the perk. I was reading the comments. So before I even do any of this stuff, I read the comments, and then I think about my own experience. I personally like the Catalina, but I don't really use it all that much because I like having a bit more armor on my vehicles. It's kind of more like a fun little glass cannon to use. And, usually a lot of the time, unless you're like doing a raid or something, you don't really always get all the way up to that 100. Not 100, but that 10 stacks. So it's like, And maybe if you're using the autocannon, I got 10 stacks with autocannon, you could definitely do it with like a grenade launcher pretty quick maybe, or like something that goes boom. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. To me, the Catalina is one of those cabins that I don't want it to get nerfed at all. Instead, I want the other cabins to get buffed to be on a level with the Catalina. And that way, because, you know, when you have something good and you see other things that, because a lot of the cabins, they don't really feel like they do a whole lot for you usually. Like, you know, when the Dust Cabin first came out, it felt like it did something, but then they nerfed it, and now it doesn't feel like as good as it was. And then the Step-In Spider, that one was decent if you were using legs, you know, you could like go faster, and then they changed it for rockets now, which I think it was kind of a stupid thing on their part. Like, it's literally a Step-In Spider, bro. Like, it's meant for fucking legs. Why'd you change it? You could have saved that fucking perk for something else. You could have put it on a fucking new cabin, and that would have been like A-okay. Like, and I kind of agree with some people that was a lore-friendly perk. And I do believe down further it's going to talk about the Step-In Spider, so I'm going to stop here for that one, but I'm going to get back into that one. But in my opinion, and it might be a little controversial because I know a lot of people hate the Catalina, and it makes sense. You're getting 60% bonus damage if you're laying down the pain train constantly, but it's still a light cabin, and you kind of have to work up to getting that perk. And depending what weapon you use, it kind of takes a little bit. Like, even using the Nethongs, it kind of, you know, you don't usually go up too high very quickly, and, you know, you still got that damage reduction, whatnot. It's something to me that I think the Catalina was just a good cabin to have. It gave you like a little bit of fun to it, and playing good made it so you were rewarded later on in the game, and you just kept getting rewarded for playing good. To me, my personal opinion, and this is because I missed the old Crossout, where everything hurt the fuck, or was like, you know, everything had its niche. Like, if you had the Fat Man, it would hit them like pretty hard on the side, but it was tanky. It was the Fat Man. It had that big shield on it. It was hard to rip off, but you still had to like know how to aim and whatnot with it. Or like when you had the miniguns, its sole purpose was you never wanted to take damage. You wanted to keep moving and spraying down, and you would do a lot of damage to vehicles, or, you know, and because of that, they were like balanced out with shotguns. You know, as soon as they started fucking nerfing everything, it just started coming out with this shit to where one weapon was becoming way overpowered, and shotguns became so strong for the longest of time. And then melee weapons, they didn't get nerfed for the longest time, but they were already strong. But because other things were strong, you kind of had to like pick and choose where you want it to go. When everything feels like it's a fucking pea shooter, eventually when they add something new and then it hits you and it's not a pea shooter, you definitely feel it. I just feel like everything should have power behind it. Like, I get you if you want to make the game last longer, and, you know, everything is like, you know, lower damage or whatnot, and it's like do, and, you know, the armor, like maybe they're trying to make it an armorer's game or something. And it makes sense, you know, the armor, you want it to be kind of a little bit tanky here and there. But I would personally prefer if we got the old Crossout mechanics back, to where everything hit hard. Everything. And everything had its style. That is what I think people loved most about Crossout before the fucking Dawn's Children, is everything hit hard, everything had its purpose, everything had its niche. I still miss playing with cannons just because of that. You know, you had the cannons, boom, boom. Damn, that shit took off my whole fucking side. Oh, here comes the rockets. And, you know, when the rockets used to be scary and you wanted to hide back. Or when people were shooting down range with their Reapers, machine guns, whatever, and you had to, like, kind of back up. And if you overextended too much, you know, people will come in there with shotguns or melee, and they could fuck you up. But at the same time, if they overextended themselves, they could get fucked up by your team. It's like, what happened to that, man? Why? They need to stop nerfing. Stop nerfing and just buff. My opinion, they need to buff. They need to make everything on par. We need to have like a line. And I think the Catalina, where it is a line. A line for the cabins. Dead ass. That is a good perk. It is a good perk. It can be really strong. Like, see, it's rewarding for the late game. For the late game. And it's a great cabin for raids. I know a lot of people hate the Catalina because of how good it is. But why hate it and not hate the other cabins that feel lackluster compared to it? Like the Ghost needs a buff. Like the fucking the healing cars, the Master and the Chronos need a buff, man. Honestly, I feel like instead of just those stupid ass power nodes to where you have to be very specific with your weapon placement, there should be like a different type of healing factor or something. But I feel everything should be on par. If it's going to be a fucking support vehicle, like the ones that make you go faster, and this is going to be something that also is down here on the list, I'm glad that they changed it so you can actually support people. Because if you're going faster, you don't want to stop, turn the fuck around, look at your fucking teammate, and be like, here, I'm going to give you the speed. Like, what the fuck, man? I'm trying to go. The whole point of that cabin is to go. I don't want to sit there and waste my perk so I can give it to somebody else. That's what the cohort was good for, man. The cohort had the 3 drones that came out and gave it to those teammates around you, so now you're all buffed. Even though I feel like it should be more than the fucking cabin, because a lot of the time people hide their cabins and they put the armor and whatnot in front of it. So it's good. It just feels like it's more situational, to where if you're not building a build, like a heavy build with the cabin that's usually in the front to tank the damage and actually protect your guns and whatnot, it's not as good. But that's just my opinion, man. I don't think they should nerf the Catalina. They should buff everything else to be on par with the Catalina and make it so every cabin's perk is that big boost. It's the cabin. This is what the cabin is, what you want. Your playstyle is going to be dependent on your fucking cabin. If you want to be this lightweight dude that's going to do that, his playstyle is going to eventually give him that damage, then you pick the Catalina. That is a playstyle. If you want to be the support guy and you're going to be a bit slower or whatnot, and you're going to give buffs to all your teammates, then you pick the fucking cohort. I just don't get the balancing in this game, man. They either... No, it's not even they either. It's always like they nerf shit to the fucking dirt. Why? Why do you nerf everything to the fucking dirt? Stop nerfing everything to the fucking dirt. Oh my god. Let's just move away from the fucking Catalina already, man. The days. Jeez, I'm still mad about the Catalina. Weapon disabling effect now lasts 1.5 seconds instead of 2 seconds. Module cooldown time increased from 16 seconds to 20 seconds. The days, to me, it felt alright. I don't really think it needed a nerf. Nobody really used it on PlayStation. Again, I don't know if it's different on PC. I don't know if it's different on Xbox. On PlayStation, it was alright. You know, you got days, and it didn't really feel like it lasted that long. You could, and honestly, it wasn't too hard to get out of the radius of the days either. Like 2 seconds, like usually you just drove away and you got away from it. Like, who really used the days anyways? Like, the daze is cool. I think it's a cool concept. If anything, no, like, honestly, it didn't really feel like it needed a nerf. It felt fine. Like, even I took dazes and I still was able to get right back into the fight. It's one of those things you have to get up close so you can daze them, and even then you're nerfing yourself because of your speed. And this game is very important with the speed. Like, you don't want to just be sitting there. So even when they do have those rushing builds in there, they nerf themselves in the duration of it. If anything, I would have kept the perk the same and maybe added another nerf to your vehicle, so that way if you really felt like, you know, that's the thing. And I feel like you should give and take. Like, that's something that is hard to balance, but I feel like is what should have been. I felt this is something else that I don't think they should nerf. They should put something else to make it feel like more of a give and take. The Lancelot, 28% explosive radius reduced. That can't really be too mad at that one. They're really strong. That's a weapon that's hard to balance, since it's a single use and you got to run in there and hit them. It makes sense that it's probably going to be meant to kill somebody in one hit. Like, I don't even know how you would balance that, to be honest. Like that feels like another glass cannon type of idea, to where if it's going to be a single use, it's going to be a risk factor. The only thing I can see is, like, you either raise the power score so high that it's going to be a little more difficult to kill somebody in one hit, or you just, like, decrease their durability to a point if they take any type of damage, they'll pop off, and it just it's kind of a hindrance to you, to where you want to be more strategic with your ability to go in there and try to knock somebody out. That's something that's going to be harder to balance. And the Lancelot is definitely something that, especially when it's only 6v6, it could really mess you up when you just lose a teammate right off the bat, and it can be very frustrating and a pisser if they come and hit you like that. But that one, I can't really say too much about it. I kind of agree, it's annoying as all hell when it comes and hits you, and it's kind of bullshit how much damage it does to a Leviathan. But it's hard to say with that one. Like, how would you nerf that? Obviously, you don't want it to just completely dominate, but at the same time, it's a single use. I don't know. That's a tough one to say. That's why you got to be kind of careful when you're making a game. You want to keep all your weapons balanced. And the issue with Gaijin right now, or Tarjum, is that they're adding weapons, adding stuff, and the weapons are currently unbalanced. If you don't balance out your game and put that line, like I mentioned, and have everything have its place, everything feel good, everything feels different, but still strong enough that everything is usable in a balanced way that it depends on your skill, then what do you got? Now you're just adding something else that's you're going to have to balance out. But how do you balance out something on a game that is broken? The Athena shouldn't have been added. The Athena's cool and everything, and I like it in the game, but it shouldn't have been added yet. The new, what is it, the Thesis or whatever the hell it's called, that new 4-barrel gun that kind of sucks right now, it shouldn't have been added to the game. If you're going to put a battle pass, we should get basically the old stuff, or just cosmetic stuff. If anything, don't put the battle pass at all in the game. Just work on what you have. Don't focus on a battle pass. Don't focus on this or that. If you're going to add anything, put maps. Which, of course, you're going to have to balance maps, but it'll be easier than a weapon. And you don't have to focus on putting new garbage into the game. Because now the game is... It's awesome that the game has so much variety. But you know, after a while, and it probably doesn't even take too long, it probably just takes a YouTube video or a quick search on the forum to find out which thing is better than which. And then you get meta. And this is what causes the imbalance. And since you're just adding garbage and packs, what are you doing? What are you doing? This makes no sense. And the game is getting killed by incompetence. It almost seems like these guys are... And I'm not trying to go to the greedy route. I'm sure there is a bit of greed in there. Like, all the packs are expensive as all hell. And they're making things more difficult, probably so you can buy coin to buy it off the fucking market. But trying to see it from another point of view, it almost makes them look like they're amateurs. Like they took their team, the good team, the ones who originally made the game, off of the game and gave it to amateurs to play around with. And these amateurs don't know what they're doing. However, it does seem like in some updates they've been getting better with it, and it's almost like watching through our eyes, we're seeing amateurs getting video game experience. And some things get better while some things get, worse. And it's like they're playing around with the balance. I just don't agree with this, man. This is why you need supervision. Let's go to the HAL cabin. And I knew this was coming because of the jockey, and it's kind of basically the same thing. It's basically what I mentioned earlier. It felt lackluster. It's definitely one of those things that didn't feel as good as the Catalina, because you're going right back down. You got to get right back up on them, and then it takes forever to get the maximum out of the perk. It just doesn't make sense. And the thing about some of these damages and whatnot, I just don't like which cabins have some perks. Like, it feels off. Some of the perks feel off towards those cabins. And I'm not going to go into which ones I think should have which ones, but the HAL cabin, the perk of it feels a little off. Like, if you're going to be getting in close and whatnot, I guess I can see that it's a little bit quicker than a heavy, but a little bit more armored than a light. So maybe, because you still got to get close, and usually close builds are going to be the light builds. So I feel like they should change the HAL to a light cabin and make it more quick, so that way you can get in there and get your perk better, and that way you can get out of situations, so that way you can go do what you got to do and get the fuck out, versus go in there and you're going to be a little slower and more sluggish. To me, it just doesn't make sense. The Jewel is strong. It can hurt. I did a video on it. It feels good, sounds good, looks good. I like how small it is. I like how fast it shoots. It can definitely hurt. And honestly, I like that they're increasing the durability of it, because that was my complaint with it. The Jewel felt like it was just big enough and a little more difficult to armor around, that it can easily get stripped. A bit too easy, in my opinion. Yes, it can do a decent amount of damage, but it wasn't like Gravistar or Destructor damage, to where I still think the Destructor needs a nerf. Like, honestly, like, I was reading some dude, he's like, the Destructor is fine as long as you keep your distance and you keep moving around or run on him. What? No, it definitely needs a fucking nerf, my man. Especially if you know how to aim with that shit. Because it's one of those things that, yeah, you could run up on him. But there's a lot of things you could run up on. And those other things that you run up on can't do what the Destructor can do. Especially at lower power score. There's no fucking reason that that type of weapon should be that low power score and just dish out thousands of damage in one fucking hit. Makes no sense. It literally can pop off most cannons in one hit. Why? I don't even think the Scorpion can do that. I think it was doing more damage than the fucking Scorpion. It's stupid. And then I don't know what it is about them either. It's like you try shooting those bitches off and it's like they have, super durability. Maybe it was the Amamore, but even before that, they felt so strong. And I just couldn't understand it. I think they need the Gravistar treatment. Because the Gravistar is another laser weapon, but that bitch has no health. So you would have to be more strategic on how you use it. Maybe I'm overthinking. I don't know what the health is and all the hit points and whatnot. But the Destructors just felt way too strong at the moment. And they're like one of the biggest complaint weapons. And it's honestly one of the weapons that I see so often in PlayStation that I never want to run cannons. Just because I think I'm going to get hit by a Destructor and that bitch is going to pop off. The Jewel, I'm glad you're getting durability. You need it. Everything else is great. Reduce the time to the autocannon's cooldown by 25%. Well, I mean, it's all about shooting it, so I don't really have an opinion on that one. I can't remember off the top of my head how slow the cooling down of it was, but these changes are aimed at improving the survivability and usability of this autocannon. I mean, the only problem with it was the survivability. It just didn't have much going for it. The big ram, increase the speed of it. That's good. I never see anybody use them anymore. Like, I see ML200s way more now. I remember when these things came out, everybody wanted to use them because you could be a little bit faster. And so this is good. That's good. Maybe we'll see more of those. That's actually a good one. A Stepping Spider. Again, like I said, I think it's stupid that they messed with the perk. It was lore friendly, it made sense. Now it doesn't make as much sense anymore. This is a perk they should have done for like an artillery cabin or something. Something that actually made more sense. The perk is now reduced rocket damage by 15% instead of 20. That's good. I don't really think I see too many of the Steppenwolf cabins either, especially since it's only limited to rockets, and usually you don't see a whole lot of rockets. Cabin speed is increased. Yeah, reduced. Durability reduced. Mass limit reduced. That sucks. Power reduced by 10%. The influence of mass on acceleration is reduced. So now it's more like now it's one of those that's going to be more of a lighter cabin. And not lighter cabin, but light cabin. There's going to be more of a light cabin style medium cabin, to where it's going to be leaning more down that way. Again, I think I don't like that. You can definitely tell by looking at the design of the Stepping Spider that it's meant to be a heavier cabin. It's meant to be something that's going to be more on par with the heavy cabin. And they're kind of fucking that up, aren't they? Now it's just rockets. The Stepping Spider is rockets. I'm glad that they reduced the damage thing to 15% instead of 20, so now you can do more. I'm glad it's a little bit faster. This is more, they're trying to make it more rocket vehicle friendly, but it still feels like they shouldn't have done it with this cabin. I got to agree, this, I don't agree with this. I agree with the changes. Yeah, I think that's cool. It's nice. It's going to make it more usable. I can't really say off the top of my head how much more usable it's going to be. Especially, it is nice that the 20% is gone. because it did feel a little heavy for what it is, even though it is more accurate. But, you know, if you're hitting with the other rockets, like I said, you could possibly do more damage. But with the crickets, when you're having that more accurate shots, you might be able to do more damage long range, but less damage close range, compared to if you were using like the Harpy with the cricket. So this is good because it's getting more on par with the Catalina. You know, it's one of those cabins that it's going to be more affecting your playstyle. So you're going to have a weapon that now has basically two different playstyles. One is more for sniping, while the other one is more for raw power damage. So that's good that you're getting more opportunities to fit better with your playstyle. But at the same time, it's going up. That's good. You want to buff your cabins. It's the only thing I don't like about this is the fact that it is the Steppin' Spider. I don't know why they changed it. That was a fine perk. If anything, it should have had that perk a bit tweaked to be a bit buffed on the speed, and then also give legs another buff. So that way it was the leg cabin. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm just talking out of my ass, bro. The Argus, you know why they buffed this. They're trying to make it better for the Leviathans, because the new crossbow, you do got to hit people a little bit to get that down to that 25%, and it can show in games. If you're accurate and you have like more than one of these and you're just, of course you got to hit more than one enemy. You can't be hitting the same guy, otherwise, you know, you're not going to be doing that bonus damage. But in like regular PvP and stuff, it feels all right. It can be strong. But it's not too strong. And if you're the last guy left, you know you're not killing nobody. You're gonna die. So you gotta kind of stick with your team, and you gotta be a support. And it's not bad. It's kind of fun in a good way, you know. And it pairs best with stripping builds, or like something that can hit real hard, like blast damage wise. It pairs best with those. But it's definitely very overpowered for Leviathans. Because you could just rip apart a Leviathan and it basically cancels that bitch out. So they're just basically nerfing the not nerfing but buffing the Argus, so that way you can put this on your Leviathan and it'll shoot those little things off. Another good trick is obviously you can put the Cami Cab and it'll last a little bit longer than the Argus if you want to have like both. And then you're just Leviathan would just go and target the motherfucker that has the crossbow. That's something you can do, and it'll completely cancel that out. But of course, you know, it's going to be a bit of a pain, because now you're going to have to specifically target this dude and constantly be using your Cami perk. You'll probably have to specifically use the Cheetah engine and maybe like one of those wheels. I can't remember, either the Bigfoots. I think it is the Bigfoots that'll pair better with cabins. But you're probably going to have to do that. So I can see the pain in that. If anything, I think it should be nerfed for Leviathan, so that way it'll deal less damage to Leviathans over time, and kind of keep it the same for regular cars, because it doesn't feel at the moment for me, like, I play with shit, you know. I'm playing with it before I make my judgment. I'm not just like, oh, new weapon, read the description, well, my opinion is that this thing is fantastic. Like, no, I go in there, I've already played a few matches, and I've normally gotten my ass handed to me, but I could definitely tell I was helping my team out if things were going well. I haven't been able to try it in Leviathan Clan Wars, but talking to people that are in clans that do that stuff, I definitely heard that it is rather overpowered, so I understand why they're buffing that. Next up is the adapter. I don't give a shit about saying that name. Yeah, the adapter kind of sucks. At least on PlayStation, it kind of sucks. I never really see them beat anybody. Normal machine guns can beat them. Destructors can beat them, obviously. Normally cannons can beat them. Crossbows can beat them. And it's like, unless you're somehow managed to bring these things in like super low power score, they normally get their ass kicked. Like they feel decent. Like, you know, when you're in a garage, you'd be like, oh, you know, these aren't so bad. But then when you actually play with them, they feel like they're in this odd spot to where they don't do a whole lot, and they feel like, and especially since they're an Epic, like, and they're kind of like, I keep saying like right now, but I'm trying to like really think about it, and they're just not that great. Like, there's something about them that isn't that great. They pop off quick. The damage doesn't compare to what you're fighting, and they're just in this weird limbo spot to where they just can't usually outperform other things. And I don't know what it is about the adapter, but it's kind of disappointing because it's such a cool weapon, and it's the fastest burst. It looks cool, and everything about it is cool until you play with it, and then it's kind of lackluster. It's kind of sad. Hopefully that changes a little bit, but I really think it needs a little bit of more love than just that, like some more tweaking. Now, the Impulse, I feel a little bad for the Impulse. I don't know, man. Did they nerf this thing? Because I remember when the Thresher came out, it did okay. It didn't do a whole lot of damage, and honestly, is like you wanted to keep the hitting on them, so that way you did something. While the Impulse was like, if you're accurate with it, you could out damage the Thresher. But now, I was like trying to make a video on it a little bit ago, and I kind of stopped because I wanted to do something else for a little bit. And they don't feel as good. It felt like they were nerfing them, and it's probably during the time when I wasn't playing Crossout, because I haven't played Crossout for like a duration when I was going through like the Marines, and I haven't seen a whole lot of the balance changes and stuff for like a good bit, but they definitely felt nerfed. They felt not so great. The durability sucked. The projectile speed was a bit low. The accuracy was a bit low. The actual blast radius wasn't too like hot. Like, it just didn't, it wasn't comparing. Like, there was an obvious difference between an Impulse and a Thresher, and the Thresher would just whoop the Impulse's ass. So I see that this thing is getting buffs out the ass, and hopefully that actually fixes it, because for something that's like a slow firing grenade launcher that's supposed to do way more damage per shot compared to the Thresher, which you have to hit them multiple times because it's a fast firing grenade launcher, it felt lackluster and not good at all. And I can see why people would much rather use a Thresher over this piece of shit. Hopefully that fixes it. Thresher, damage increase by 8%. I mean, I don't hate it. I don't dislike it. The Thresher already feels like it was kind of in a good place, unless you're getting a higher power score, but that's kind of common for Epics. But I don't know. That one I don't really care too much about. The Thresher is maybe it needs it. Maybe it needs it. Maybe I don't see it just yet. The Tusk. I can agree the Tusk is a little annoying at those lower power scores when it can just hit you in one hit, and then you just, you're just dead after one fucking hit in those lower, like 5 to 6K, even less than that. I think I've seen them in 4K, and they would just hit like anywhere on your build and you just blow up. So I understand that. I read a lot of comments that were like, thank God it's getting nerfed. I've seen them, the little flying pencils. That one I don't really have too much of an opinion about. I don't really usually play low power scores, and when I have noticed them being annoying as fuck. So I overall, from what I read, I think people think that that's a good change. Now this one I don't really like. They're basically reducing everything by 65%. Like, I understand that when you get skinnered and the dude has landmines, there was something about that was just straight bullshit. But just 65 off of everything? Like, you can't hit your teammate and stick on them, to just play around. You can't Spider-Man anymore with it. It's like, And are they taking away the 65% from when you already hit an enemy? Because, I don't know, man. I don't know. The Skinner is one of those other weapons to where it's hard to balance and figure out. But when you're taking away from everything, when people used to like to use it to get into positions rather than just tagging an enemy, yeah, I don't know about that one, man. Because even I had fun, like, just going around my garage and just climbing the buildings and whatnot. Like, that was fun, just being Spider-Man with it. I think that's a bad change. Bad change overall. Stupid. Legendary parts now. I guess we're getting into the final bits. I think there is relics too. The M32 Vindicator. They're just basically making it more durable. Makes sense. It doesn't seem like it does the damage that it did before. So having it to where it's more based on its perk makes sense. It's going to be 293 points of durability instead of 248. And its perk is going to be going from 40% to 50%. So, it's basically going to be more of like an armored wall that you're going to have to get through. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I don't think it's that bad. On PlayStation, you never really see the Vindicator. I just remember the Vindicator used to be really good, and it's one of those things that kind of fell back and isn't as good as some of the other weapons that are currently in the game. And I still think you're probably going to get hit by like a destructor and it's probably going to pop off, but what do I know? And here's one of the things I was talking about. The Yokozuna, or however you say it. I'm glad that this is getting changed. They're making the 3 drones pop out and hit multiple teammates, so that way everybody, like in your team in like a clan wars, or the people around you, maybe you got your team around you, can all benefit more from this, because it's supposed to be a support while at the same time also giving you a bit more speed. And I like that. I see, support vehicles need to be more support-ish, if that makes sense. Like, the whole idea of support in this game is a little limited because most things are meant to kill you rather than support. So that's kind of why I also like the new crossbow, because it's a support weapon. And I like the idea of actually having different roles in the game. It would be cool to see like a medic vehicle in the game, but I don't really know how they would balance that one out. That one, I think they should save that for like later if they ever do that, like some more support stuff, especially when the guns are not balanced right now and the cabins aren't really like some of them suck and some of them are god tier. I do think they need to change that a little bit, but I'm glad that they did that so you can actually support more of your team and not just wasting a percentage of your time with that very, you got that short window. You don't want to like look around and be like, what teammate, where are you, bro, which green one are you? Oh, I see you, and then hey, just lost half your perk. That sucks. But that's just if you want to use the perk, like, to be supportive. If you're just using it to like get from point A to point B fast or yourself, maybe it doesn't matter to you. But the idea of it actually being more like of a support cabin is pretty cool to me. The Fortune is now basically going to be a turret. That's what I believe I'm getting from this. Now the weapon rotates around its axis, and they're just making it into a turret. That's cool, I guess. It's a decent weapon. A little hard to hit hovers, Sometimes it's a little bit of a pain in the ass against legs. But I don't hate it. I don't dislike it. That's interesting. That's cool, I guess. The Machinist tonnage increase. I'm kind of glad they did this, because for whatever reason, something that's meant to be about gathering as much armor as possible, it did kind of feel like you needed a lot of wheels to really get this thing to not go slow as fuck. Especially like if you tried to make a Leviathan with it. And I know probably people are thinking I'm crazy because I was just experimenting with cabins, but you would need so many extra wheels to a point that you lost your acceleration anyways from the amount of reduced cabin power you had. So I'm glad they did that for something that's literally meant to be about carrying a shit ton of armor. So that's a plus in my mind. The Cardius, I believe this is the new melee weapon, correct? Damage area while the perk is active is increased by 20%. Yeah, I mean, nobody really uses it anyways, but that's good. Because when the perk came out, it was just like, why? Like, why did it reduce so much damage? I get you're getting more surface area, but like, you would have to specifically hit them in the back, and usually players will try to keep their front to you anyways. And when it did extend like that, and you did start sawing through them, and now you're just extended because you're extended. I don't know. I thought it was kind of stupid. I didn't see why you needed the damage reduction. It should have just been the perk extends if you get behind them. Like, I think that would have just been fine. The Chronos. Now taking damage doesn't affect the part restoration rate. That's cool. It's still kind of to me, that's still kind of the thing of I don't like the placements of it, because it's mainly going to be for things that don't take a lot. So you could use it for machine guns and whatnot, but you would have to specifically have them on the nodes, and that was kind of lame, because usually if you tried to fit as many as you could on those nodes, it didn't really work out all the time. Maybe I'm just not being creative enough, but I don't know. I just didn't really like it. I feel like I don't know. The Chronos, just the only thing I liked about it was how fast it is and how much it could carry while being fast. That's the only thing I really cared about it. I never really use its perk. I have it on a certain build just so I could have a bit more armor. And I think the only reason I have more armor is because it's upgraded to mass, and I should really get my cami upgraded to mass. But other than that, I didn't really give a shit for the perk. But maybe this will make it a lot better and will open my eyes a little bit more. And maybe you could, like, because I could see, like, if you're using something big, like cannons or whatnot, or you could put it attached to the avalanche, and it'll keep the avalanche alive, I suppose. But that's just, like, making it so it doesn't break off. While some other things, you could get better blast damage and whatnot and do more damage. So that's that. In a way, it's cool. You can have a bit more survivability to your weapons. But since it's like the cabin isn't like this wide, big thing that you can just have all these nodes and you can position them the way you want, and it's kind of limited on that department, and it's all right. I don't really have too much of an opinion on the Chronos just because I don't really use it. I just like the speed of it. That's about it. The Nethong. Yeah, I understand. I get it. I understand why the damage is reduced. I understand why the perk is reduced. The thing was hitting hard as hell. I'm glad they didn't mess with the accuracy of it, because I think it's cool that, it has that amount of accuracy. But the main thing I didn't like about it was that it just completely outshined the aspect. And I feel like the aspect should be like an option. They're both legendary machine guns. Why is one so much better than the other? It goes right back to that thing to where there isn't a line of balance for everything, and it's kind of fucking up one weapon compared to the other weapon. So maybe this will fix it a little bit better. It definitely was like something you would see all the time, and it did so much damage. And it was kind of comparable, like it was fighting off Punishers and whatnot, but it is what it is. That one, so I understand this one. I'm sure a lot of people will be pleased about that one. I can also see a lot of people being pleased that the Amamori is getting nerfed. It's now you have to be fully depleted before it charges back up, and it makes sense. This is just stuff that makes sense. You don't want these things to be so overpowered and so overbearing that it's just going to be, there's no line, and now people are just going to get pissed off because this weapon is so goddamn strong, or this is so goddamn strong, this, that, whatever, and it just kind of affects the game in a rather negative way. So this one and the Nethong, it makes sense that they're getting nerfed. However, I still think they need to decide what type of balance they want to do so that everything can basically cohort towards that balance while still having its own type of play style. Finally, we're to the relics and apparently boosters and co-drivers, okay? So the Scorpion and the Helicon, or whatever the fuck it's called. I'm just going to call it the 9. The Scorpion, spread increased rate during the weapons rotation. Increased rate during the weapons rotation reduced by 43%. Spread increased rate during the weapons rotation reduced. You know, when I first looked at that, and that's why I said that one so many times, is I honestly thought that it was getting nerfed while also having the weapon, like, you know, it being able to turn faster. With these changes, for the lack of accuracy of the weapon on wheeled vehicles after reworking the effect. Man, bro. Don't buff the fucking Scorpion. Don't buff the fucking Scorpion. Oh my god, Gaijin, what are you doing? I think that they were going in the right direction when they made it so if the Scorpion was turning or moving or something like that, it would affect the accuracy like the fucking snipers in Call of Duty. And the only way to get perfect accuracy is the slower you're moving or if you're just stationary. It made sense to me because the Scorpion could penetrate right through you. It could pop off weapons unholily like. So I felt like they were going in the right direction. And it's not like you don't see Scorpions or anything anymore, man. Like, god damn it. God fucking damn it, Gaijin. If anything, you need to buff the fucking cannons. Where's the Tsunami buff? Where's the Typhoon buff? Where's the Ripper buff? I don't even have those relic weapons, but I know that they need something. Jesus. The 9. Durability increase. The maximum bonus of the perk is gained. From what I've seen, it definitely wasn't performing like a fucking relic. It was performing more like a legendary, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I get that it needed some effectiveness. It just wasn't all that. Like, I think the Mastodon did a hell of a lot better, and it's like almost the same thing, except one's cannons, one's rockets. The only thing about it is the rocket one, you didn't have to charge up, which a charge up fucking sucks for a fucking legendary, to be honest. But I can understand that if you have heating and then blast with the Mastodon, maybe it would be a bit overpowered if you just tap and it fires both. But it's, for me, for a relic, for something that's endgame, I think the charge up shouldn't be there. But that might make it a bit overpowered. Maybe. I'm not sure. All boosters. I didn't actually read this one. Acceleration efficiency increased by 15%. Now the booster's fuel supply is increased with the help of ammo boxes and extended ammo boxes. Or, you know, if you want to call it ammo pack. I call it boxes. Standard fuel reserve. So, standard fuel reserve, standard fuel reserve. Okay, so they're all getting more points of... Oh, wait, no, never mind. They're all getting reduced fuel. I gotta read the description. The increase in acceleration efficiency is intended to compensate for the fact that the acceleration gradually decreased after reaching 120. With this change, you will be able to use fewer boosters to achieve an effect comparable to the previous one. Those players who didn't have enough fuel in the boosters will be able to increase its amount. What? Risk of explosion in order to balance this new feature. We are slightly reducing the standard fuel. I thought this was going to be something about like Leviathans being with the cockpit. That's why they were reducing the fucking reserves. But those players who didn't have enough fuel in the boosters. So What? So they didn't have enough fuel in the fucking boosters. So you removed the fuel from the fucking boosters? And now they're forced to put an ammo pack on there for more? Guys, what the fuck does that even mean? If they don't have enough fuel, why are you taking away the fucking fuel? Next. Billy changed weapons rotation rate bonus to 10% increase in weapons durability. That makes sense. What was that benefiting? It was only benefiting autocannons, and autocannons weren't really that slow at rotating. Machine guns were fucking instant. That, for something that's like meant for fucking shotguns, quickfire autocannons, and machine guns, having a rotating speed thing, it didn't make sense. So now it makes sense. And that 10% increase to those weapons durabilities, when they don't have all that durability, is nice. Self-destruct damage bonus increase from 5% to 30%. I mean, maybe it'll make a difference. Maybe. I mean, if anything, I don't like that perk because that means you have to kill yourself. And I don't really want to kill myself in this game, so I still don't like that perk, but it makes sense, I suppose. If anything, I would much rather have, continuing onto the trend of like playing as a certain playstyle with the weapon, you know what I mean? I don't want to go self-destruct on a motherfucker. Like, what the fuck? I get it's the whole thing about lunatics wanting to kill themselves for blood and glory, but yeah, whatever. Yuki. The passive skill, Isolated Systems, now reduces the strength of slowing effects by 40%. Like, what is that good for? That's like, the best thing is for like Leviathans, but you can't have a co-driver for Leviathans. It's like honestly, how many times do you see slowing effects? There's only like 2 things that do that, right? The sparks / flashes and the little shits that they throw and they tag on you. You never see those, especially those. Like, nobody's using those. And the spark, like, you would only see that on melee weapons or fire dogs. Nobody, I don't know, man. Xbox PCs, you guys got a lot of flash builds? Because, I don't see them that often. I don't know. That's another perk that's kind of like, It's just kind of to me. Phobos. The passive skill Signal Jammer now reduces the invisibility detection range by 20% instead of 10%. Yeah, that's alright. It makes sense. It's all about invisibility, so it kind of sucks if you're just spotted right off the bat. That one's alright. It's okay to me. Let's see, what else is here? This is just explaining, like, how to get into the test these. I mean, some of these are good, some of these are just like whatever. Some of them I feel like they shouldn't do. Instead, they should just fucking buff other shit, actually put it on par with each other. The spider thing, I still think is stupid that they changed the perk of it. That definitely, that would have been such a good perk for something else, man. It could have been like, hey, you want to put that in fucking legendary cabin next battle pass? Like, I don't know. I don't know what the devs are doing, man. I don't. It's, you know what? You guys tell me what you think of this. Let me know if I'm losing my mind or if I am just dead off with this stuff. But this is my honest opinion. I don't know what you guys think, but I don't know, guys. Anyways, you guys leave a like and subscribe, and let me know what you think. My thing is just kind of, this update's just kind of to me. Some things in there I like, some things I'm just like, whatever, and some things I'm just like, this is stupid. Yeah, anyways, you have a good night.